Bright and Sun Incorporated. Hello, everybody. James Verrett along with Dwan Walker. And Dwan, you covered this and went out there to look at talent. They have a few kids who have committed, but a lot of these kids, this is their encore performance to try to see if they can make it to the next level. Exactly. This is a big night for a lot of these kids. They are interviewing. You know, this is a stage to where you're with your peers that are all-stars, and the field is now balanced. And anytime as a coach you can evaluate this talent with guys that have at least equal talent that you have, you get a better picture of who's doing what and their availability. You coached at UAB, you coached at Jacksonville, and of course University of South Alabama. When you look at talent like this, can you get an extra piece of knowledge from looking at an all-star game? Yeah, so, you know, anytime you get them on a stage like all-star stage, you're going to get a really good evaluation of who this kid really is. Whenever a student-athlete play against their normal competition week in and week out, you know, the competition is up here, it's down here, and it's tough to get a good evaluation of them. But anytime you playing at this caliber of athletes on one field, you'll get a great evaluation. So these guys are really interviewing. All right, stay tuned. We come back, we'll get you one step closer to kickoff and take a look at some of the All-Stars that'll be center stage in Mobile, Alabama for the North-South All-Star Game. Stay tuned.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Manna brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now. And future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer? Manna brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
The internet. It's how we learn, experience, and connect to the world. But all of that powerful information needs a really powerful home. A data center. Like this world-class facility we invested $600 million to build, right here in Alabama. But keeping the world's information at your fingertips isn't all we do. Our data center supports thousands of jobs. We provide resources to our community and generate more than $1 billion for the state economy. We're doing our part for a better Alabama, because Alabama is our home too.
As we continue to count you down to the Alabama North-South All-Star Game live from Mobile, Alabama, Hancock Whitney Stadium on the campus of the University of South Alabama. James Verrett along with Dwan Walker. And Dwan, this is a situation where we have 4 outstanding quarterbacks, and these young men have played at the highest level here in the state of Alabama. Yeah, and they're you know, this is a great reward for them to be on this stage, to be on an all-star game. And, you know, looking at the South right here with Caden Creel and Clyde Pittman. And for Creel, this young man is already committed to go play at Jacksonville State. His numbers outstanding, over 1,000 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, and 13 touchdowns passing, over 1,000 yards. And Clyde Pittman, the signal caller for the Auburn team that made it to the 7A finals, he has over 1,800 yards passing and 16 touchdowns. As we look north, an outstanding stellar led by Jack Hayes. He is the offensive dynamo for the state of Alabama. That's absolutely right. Jack Hayes has played a lot of football, and as you can see, looking at his numbers,
He have led the Alabama High School Athletic in career pass and total touchdowns and yards. He has won so many football games, played in the state championship game, and you will see tonight that he's a workhorse.
Giovanni Lopez, the young man from James Clemens High School, he is a South Alabama commit, so he's basically trying to get used to being right at home. He'll be there in the fall.
That's exactly right. He's on his home field. He'll get his first feel of what it feels like to play right there in the stadium, and you'll see him. He'll do an outstanding job tonight as well.
Stand by. We come back. We'll get you ready for kickoff. North, South, All-Stars. Stay tuned.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Amanda brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue. You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Amanda brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
The North won the toss and elected to receive here at the Alabama North-South All-Star game. As we take a look at the North head coach, Michael Williams for Pickens County. He got his team to the state 1A finals. They lost to Leroy, and he is the all-star coach for the North. And over at the South, Eric Speakman from Opelika had 5-5 season in Class 7A. The Bulldogs went 4-4 in region play, and he has the honor of being the head coach for the South. And it will be back deep for the North. Jalen Jones from Ramsey High School, state champion. And now the Sarah Automotive kickoff, and the ball will go out of bounds, but it was touched by a return man. So already the North has their one hand tied behind their back as they will start their own 5-yard line.
That's exactly right. As you can see, some nerves already playing some play into this game. And so just looking at the North, they're going to be backed up trying to come out here, and let's see what they can make happen here.
Quarterback Jack Hayes, and we've already said that he is the state leader in career touchdowns and career passing touchdowns. But when you look at it, his yardage is outstanding. Over 11,000 yards passing, 4,000 yards rushing in his career. He's thrown for 158 and ran for 65 touchdowns, total of 223. But now he has his work cut out, starting from his own 5. Going to start off with a handoff and get some positive yards. Run there by Troy Bruce Jr., the young man out of Center Point. And let's take a look at that all-star North squad. A lot of talented receivers with Curry, Fields, and Fletcher out of Hartselle. The offensive line pretty stout with Franklin, Rue, David from Arab, and Myers from Moody, followed by Flanken and your kicker, Grayson Simpson out of Asheville.
So what you're going to see from the North, they're going to be a lot of 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers, no tight end. As you can see, we got the flare coming out of the backfield with number 24.
Troy Bruce.
Troy Bruce. You're going to see them play a lot of 10 personnel and have an opportunity to throw the ball around tonight.
And let's take a look at the defense for the South. They're going to go with their traditional 4-3 defense. They'll be led by Ty Gay in the middle along with Chris Pearson. He's an athlete from Orange Beach, and they are a talented group of defense. But right now they're trying to shut down this offense that is being led now by Troy Bruce Jr., the running back out of Center Point, had over 1,400 yards rushing and 24 touchdowns during the regular season.
Not necessarily a big back, but he does pack a punch. He does. 5'9", 170 pounds. Out of center point, they play a lot of good physical football at the center point, and we'll see a lot of action from him tonight.
2nd and 5. Nice shutter step there by Torian Spears, a young man out of Northridge, and he's once again able to get some positive yards.
And this will be a pretty competitive game tonight. The rules of the game, you know, they're a little bit more flexible to do a lot more things than a normal all-star game. As you can see, they did go into 11 personnel there and brought a tight end into the game.
Give again to Spears. This time he hits the line of scrimmage and goes nowhere fast. Good stop there by A.J. Prim, the defensive end out of Foley.
Spears with the carry. Brings up 4th down.
As you can see, they brought in Will Kinnear out of Arab, a defensive lineman, 6'3", as a tight end, sniffer back to create some form of two-back personnel.
Prim stands at 6'2", 260. They're trying to get all their right personnel on. 4th and 1, short yardage situation as the North on their first drive will show that they'll punt. And looks like we may have a flag. Delay a game against the North, pushes them back 5. Grayson Simpson will be on to do the punting. It'll go beyond midfield, and it'll be down right at about the 45, 46-yard line. And that's where the South will take over.
And that was down by number 97, Aiden Hall out of Pleasant Grove, 6'3", 200, defensive end linebacker.
Caden Creel, Jacksonville State commitment out of Fairhope, stands at 5'11", 195, but what he can do with his legs and his arms are outstanding. He's over 1,000 yards rushing and passing, and has thrown for double-digit touchdowns and ran for double-digit touchdowns during the regular season.
And I think with the South, you're going to see more tight end sets with 11 personnel, where they'll come out and look at this first play of the game going up top.
Right off the top, Trey Kremlin trying to find a receiver off of the wide receiver pass, incomplete, intended for Michael Johnson, and there it is, dipsy-do.
I had an opportunity to talk with Coach Ben Blackman, which is we'll be calling the plays for the South tonight, and he told me to keep my eyes open for that first play.
No doubt about it. 2nd and 10. Fumble on the play. Loose ball, and Creel falls on top of it for about a 3-yard loss. Let's take a look at that offense for the South. Cole Blaylock, the running back, he's a South Alabama commitment. Wide receivers Godfrey, Kimmerlin, and Johnson, and that offensive line pretty stout with Stewart from Andalusia and Eric Patrick along with Screws and Wayhall. He'll handle all the kicking out of Wetumpka. Creel now on 3rd and 13, going long and overthrows the intended receiver. Just went way out the way of Trey Kremlin. He couldn't catch that one. Take a look at the defense for the North. Pretty outstanding, but they're going to go with a 4-4-3. 4 linebackers with Douglas, Jordan, Hall, and Chapman. I think I would go with those two. And those linemen, Alston, Smith, Hines, and Waller. And the 3 defensive backs, Myers, Jones, and Ukehart out of Hoover.
And a lot of these players are, you know, they're like we talked about, they're interviewing. A lot of these kids have not committed. Several of them do have offers, and they're a little bit slow to commit. But as the month of January come along, you'll see these student athletes have more opportunities where they can tie into where they may be ending up in college.
Wayhall with an end-over-end kick, and they'll down it inside the 30 at about the 28. So both defensive have held so far on the first series.
Yeah, you know, this offense is a little bit behind, especially when you have a week to prepare for a game. So it'll take them a little bit while longer than the defense to put it all together and put a series together.
And here comes that North offense. Giovanni Lopez, now your quarterback. Young man out of James Clemens.
South Alabama commit.
There it is, 17 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions so far during the regular season. He's going to hand it off, and they'll give it to, looks like
Torian Spears.
Yeah, it was Torian Spears, and looks like a continuation of the last drive for him as he spelled Troy Bruce Jr. Spears out of Northridge.
And Spears is a good size at 6 feet, 205. He could be a workhorse tonight.
3-yard gain for Spears. Spears on the carry again. This time he is wrapped up. Good stop there by Carmelo Smith, the young man out of Prattville.
As you can see, they're rolling their guys in earlier, and everybody will get an opportunity to perform. But great job there by beating the block and getting on the tackle right there with Carmelo.
And Carmelo Smith is a traditional, as they say, run stopper.
Exactly. He's 6'2", 305, and you'll see how he manhandled and really get pressure right there up front.
Nice ball thrown and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. I mean, it was just right there for him.
Great play by 21, Chris Pearson from Orange Beach.
Corbin Williams, the intended receiver. Just out of the reach. Orange Beach starting to make a resurgence.
6'1", 180 pounds. And I tell you, these defensive backs, what we're seeing these days, they're so long, they're very rangy, and it's really tough to throw over them. And when you do throw over them,
And this time Pearson goes nowhere fast, quickly wrapped up and brought down. And Michael Hines there on the tackle. Stay tuned. We come back, we'll see who can score first. North-South All-Star game. Stay tuned.
Silicaga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salads, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Silicaga.
Mr. President, Bessemer Superhighway is backed up. What are we going to do?
Are you serious? Get me the King Boys.
King Boys Towing is the fastest growing tow and recovery company in Birmingham and surrounding areas for one reason. Our customers are our top priority. Whether your car's been in an accident, is stuck in the driveway and won't start, or you just need a tow to your preferred repair shop, give us a call. Our fleet of flatbed tow trucks will provide courteous and fast service. King Boys Towing, 205-428-3235.
Looking for an outstanding place to have a wonderful time eating and enjoying the company of the person that you're with. Go to Harvey's on Noble, Silicaga, Alabama. It's wonderful food, great ambiance, and an outstanding opportunity to walk the streets of downtown Silicaga. Harvey's on Noble. Make sure you go and support them. Proud supporter of high school athletics and proud supporter of WOTM. The food is outstanding. Steak, seafood, desserts, anything you want from Harvey's on Noble. Carl Pittman now the quarterback for the South. Led his team to the 7A state finals. They lost to Thompson High School. First carry now for Braden Jenkins, a young man out of Theodore, and he's able to get some positive yards for the South. Jenkins, 5'9", 175. He has over 1,900 yards rushing and 26 touchdowns for the team out of Mobile.
I tell you what, he had a really great regular season, won a lot of football games. They went undefeated for a long time during the season. And because of him, you know, he did a really good job of putting that team on his back and winning a lot of games. And we're really excited to see what he can do with on this stage tonight. You know, a lot of these kids, just to be in this situation, you got to be special to be in the All-Star game. And it's not just the players, but also it's an honor for the coaches as well.
No doubt. 3rd and 7 now for Pittman and the South All-Stars. Clyde, and catch is made. Reception to Anthony Eager, the young man out of McGill-Tulane.
Great job of just taking what the defense has given them. They're playing some soft coverage here, and the great job of catching the ball, securing it, and getting out of bounds.
Keeping it in the air, and this time quickly wrapped up and brought down by Agent Zero, Christian Douglas, a young man out of Leeds, Alabama, 6'1", 195.
I tell you what, Leeds has really good football players, and they never disappoint. That great program, have a great tradition of winning championships, and he's here to. I tell you what, we talked about interviewing, and that's a great first impression.
No doubt about it. 6'1", 195, playing a cover corner tonight, or outside linebacker, as they're going to call it. Throwing in the middle, and this one is batted away, but a flag. Jamal Miles on the coverage. The intended receiver was Stefan Blackshear.
North team. 15-yard first down.
I don't know about that one. It looked like it was close, but he may have been holding on to that jersey a little bit.
It was close. You know, it's a lot of competition tonight. They're going to be very competitive, and I don't know, it was really close. You know, I'm gonna.
You got to put on your defense coordinator hat now.
I won't be fussing at him. I thought that was a great play.
Now they are in North Territory on the last carry. Jenkins from Theodore able to get some positive yards.
2nd down.
Takes that high snap, good handoff by Pittman, and Jenkins able to get 6 yards, 2nd and 4. Jenkins now looks like they have keyed in on him, wraps him up and brings him down. And that was Christian Bird, among others, right there to make the play, along with Brian Alston, the Arkansas State commit out of Spain Park.
Defensive lineman, 6'3", 260. Very athletic, and had a really good week of practice as well.
3rd and 2. High snap goes over the head of Pittman. He's still going to try to make a play out of it. Throws it, and incomplete. That could have been even more disastrous than it already was.
That's what it looks like when you probably had less than a week to practice, and being able to execute that and being consistent with it is going to be the key to a lot of this tonight. You know, it can put you in some bad situations to where you can either lose those yardage or, you know, the team that's more consistent and making the least mistakes going to have a better opportunity to come out on top.
And it looks like there's a timeout called by the North All-Stars. And if you're looking to find ways to help your student athletes and, of course, your students, make sure you reach out to High Ed. And transitioning students into careers, highedgms.com. It's more than just a website, right?
That's exactly right. High Ed will help students transition into careers from workforce, military, and college. It's a seamless transition that will allow students to have purpose in education.
No doubt about it. And when you think about it, this is a easier way. Some kids may not want to go to school. They're trying to find a career. How does your website help them?
So once they go to the website, one thing that is really helpful, you can go down and ask for a demo. So at the bottom of the website, go in and ask for a demo, and our team will contact you and have an opportunity to show you how it's more than just a website. It's also a process.
Ah, very good, very good. And you can reach out to them at higheedgms.com, all one word. 4th and 2 now for the South All-Stars. And they're going to go for it, but there was a flag on the play. It looks like they were doing a direct snap to Michael Towner.
False start. South team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Michael Towner, one of those unique athletes. He was a state champion last year with Viger High, playing a defensive end, but he can also play quarterback.
Wow. I tell you what, well, that's very fitting for him. So that was going to work out well. So what was 4th and 2? Now put them back where they'll have to line up in a punt formation.
And Eric Speakman trying to, as they say, manage all of the talent.
That's exactly right. Great coaches on that side of the ball. You got Coach Speakman, the head coach, Ben Blackman out of Enterprise, Jarrell Jernigan out of Eufaula, Derek Scott out of Foley, and Chase Smith out of Spanish Fort, and Granger Shook out of Trinity Presbyterian in Montgomery.
Now, I'm not trying to age you, but have you coached any of the coaches?
I have actually coached with Blackman, and he was actually coming through doing some his student teaching at Prattville and Otago County, and had the opportunity to spend some time with him. His father, as you know, he's a long time. He catered to a lot of high schools throughout the years, and the Blackman, it's just in their blood, and just a family of great coaches, and they do an awesome job.
So you knew him when he was, as they say, a young,
exactly,
a young pup.
Exactly, and he's a Troy Trojan as well.
4th and 7. Now it is Clyde Pittman back on the field, and they're going to go for it on 4th down. Pittman, throw. Oh, the receiver just wasn't looking for it early enough, and incomplete. Pass intended for Jake Godfrey, the young man out of Spanish Fort.
I just knew they'll probably take this opportunity to pin them back deep and see if they can execute. But, you know, you're in an all-star game. You have all-stars, and let's see who's going to step up and make a play.
Godfrey out of a very talented Spanish 14. Now turning over on downs, the North, with Jack Hayes in at quarterback again. And Hayes is doing what he does best, keeping the football, and he is a tough runner, able to get some positive yards.
If he had the opportunity to do that, he could do that all night. You know, he's a workhorse. And you know, one thing about offense, if you have a quarterback that can run the ball, you know, you can outnumber the defense on how many guys can be in the box to tackle, and you can force them to walk more people down to the box, and that's what Jack Hayes will make you do as a defense.
Incomplete, the pass.
Hayes pass incomplete.
Intended for
11, Clyde Curry.
Clyde Curry.
Brings up 3rd down.
And Curry out of Gadsden City. And he's an Arkansas State commitment also. Arkansas State obviously has been coming into Alabama doing some shopping.
I tell you what, when you look at the North Alabama, the North All-Stars roster, it's several of those guys, at least 3 or 4 guys have already committed to Arkansas State. So they have definitely have their share of players out of the North.
Hayes throws back against the grain, finds K.J. Fields, a young man out of Bob Jones, and he's able to get into South Territory.
That's a great play and perfect call. You know, they're running their screens, and great timing, Great job. Great tackle, or that could have been out the gate.
Once again, that is Chris Pearson on the tackle, young man out of Orange Beach. 1st and 10, though, for the North. Keeping it is Hayes, and Hayes is hit hard. Good tackle there by Tay Gay, the young man out of Opelika. And I mean, he, as they say, he shot the gap.
He did.
And made a hit. Boom.
I tell you what, yeah, he really exploded through the runner and did a great job drawing the ball. That ball is loose.
And they will call it a fumble. Michael Towner comes up with it. But they will review it.
Tay Gay out of Opelika, linebacker, 6 foot 208. One thing about Opelika, that's a physical football team. Anytime you have a player from Opelika, they're going to be physical. That's the way they play football, and that's the way they breed them in Opelika.
And Towner's right there. Let's see if, looks like it's a legit fumble. Hayes was just hit hard by Tay Gay.
93, Bryson Dixon out of Leroy is on that tackle as well.
And the ruling on the field will stand, which means that it will be the South's opportunity to see if they can get on the scoreboard first. We even have all-star officials today, some of the best of the best.
And the coaches from the North, we talked about the South, but you have a lot of really great coaches from the North with Michael Williams, coach out of Pickens County, Jeremy Sullivan out of Boaz, Matt Patterson, Buckhorn, Rico Jackson out of Tarrant, Brenton Monroe out of Asheville, Chavis Williams out of Durham, Matt Dearman out of Sarah Lanes, the administrator for the North team.
And for the North head coach, Michael Williams out of Pickens County, he's got to preach a little ball security for his all-stars.
That's exactly right. You know, this would give the South, you know, the South gambled a little bit on 4th down, and this is where they can come back and have a win and got the ball in really good field position.
Caden Krill back in at quarterback, and they're going to keep it. Krill finds a little hole, and he's able to make a positive play. Malachi Jones on the tackle.
One of the things you'll see out of this game is they can get in more formations where they can get in 3-by-1, 2-by-2, 10 personnel, 11 personnel, but no blitzing. You won't see any pressure as far as blitzing in this game.
Trying to hold on to the ball is Krill, broken play, and he'll go down, and getting the credit for the tackle is Malachi Jones again out of Sparkman.
Tackle made by Malachi Jones.
That was a fumbling, bumbling a little bit there.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You'll get behind the chains with plays like that, and neither one of these teams have enough practice where they can have negative plays and have to come back from it, especially facing all-stars on the other side of the field.
Krill on 3rd and 12, and this time he goes down. Will Kinnear out of Arab with the first official sack of the night.
Will Kinnear, 6'3", 220, did a great job of winning his one-on-one battle and making the play on the quarterback.
Kinnear had a great career at Arab. Now trying to figure out if he can find a way on to a college roster.
Will Kinnear credited with the stop.
Jalen Jones back deep as Wayhall will do the punting for the South. And it's going to continue to take a South bounce and be dead inside the 30 at about the 23-yard line. Good punt by Logan Wayhall out of Wetumpka.
And, you know, this is a great point right here with, you know, looking at Will Kinnear out of Arab. Smaller school, you know, college coaches will want to look at him versus some really good talent. And this is a great opportunity for him to display that and what he can do on this stage against some top-notch talent.
Giovanni Lopez going back out for the North All-Stars. No score here as we have less than 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. And that flare pass incomplete. Just couldn't bring it in as Jamarcus Goodman out of Dora.
And that's Tege again on the coverage out of Opelika. Great job of closing in and making that incomplete.
Gay playing that linebacker role. Less than 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Trying to keep it on the ground, but once again, Chris Pearson, the young man out of Orange Beach, he was a late addition, but this young man is definitely making a name for himself.
He is, and being coached very well with Jamie Dubose down in Orange Beach. Coach Dubose put a great staff together, great team. And this kid, he's going to be one that they hate to lose down at Orange Beach. Doing a great job on this All-Star game tonight.
Less than 40 seconds, 3rd and 7 now. Lopez looking to throw, going to throw it long and incomplete. Pass intended for KJ Fields, but he just couldn't connect. And that timing, that's part of the issue here right now with Nick Floyd on the coverage.
That's right. And, you know, what? I tell you one thing, he did have some time to throw the ball. That offensive line did a great job of protecting during that play. The timing was just off, and that comes again from less than a week of preparing.
Grayson Simpson now to punt for the North.
You got time, you got time, you got time.
And we're going to have a return, Jake Godfrey. And Godfrey is wrapped up and brought down. Antonio Ross on the tackle for special teams out of Alexandria. And remember, Big Time Entertainment, if you're anywhere on I-20 looking for a good place for family fun, 42 Towel Road in Oxford, Alabama is the place to go. Bowling, indoor kart racing, also video games, and of course, the always popular Ninja Warrior course. Big Time Entertainment is the place for you. You can join them Friday nights or any night that you're looking for some good family fun. Big Time Entertainment. First down, and they're going to keep it on the ground.
Going to have two backs in the game. Donald Harris out of Jeff Davis, running back, 5'10", 180 pounds. Really electric ball player. If they can get him in open field and get him the ball with space, he's very electric.
One quarter has come to an end, and it has been a defensive battle. Teams took to the field with all the flashing lights, and so far it's been the defense that has shined brighter than anyone as we have no score. Second quarter coming up.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Manor brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
Get more this fall in Sylacauga with the power of 3. Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan. The time to buy is now, with more value and selection.
Long before we became a new car dealer, we were a used car dealer, and we know used cars better than anyone. Sarah has hard-to-find inventory arriving daily from around the country, with over 1,200 pre-owned cars and trucks to choose from.
Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga. Serving Alabama since 1981.
The perfect checking account. Why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use. and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now, you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Amana brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
King Boys Towing and Recovery, proud sponsor of high school athletics. If you're ever in need of a tow or recovery, King Boys Towing and Recovery, proud sponsors of high school athletics and proud sponsor of WOTM, and they have the best towing pitcher in America. Great group of guys at King Boys Towing and Recovery. Now time to start the second quarter. James Red along with Dwan Walker. And we're going now on 2nd and 9, and this time run defense of the North pretty stout, creating a wall for the Theodore running back Braden Jenkins.
Dorian Jackson out of Wetumpka, DB, 6'2", 195. Long and rangy, and can get downhill as well.
3rd down and 7. And that one incomplete. Pass intended for Michael Johnson. And once again, the offense unable to really click and find some type of offensive rhythm.
Yeah, try to sprint out right there, and that's you know, a sprint out is pretty. You got to have that timing down. That has to be in sync, and that's going to take a lot of more reps to make sure they can execute a play like that.
Wayhaw on again to do the punting. And fair catch. And that's where the North will take over. KJ Fields making the fair catch. So now if you're coaching the All-Star team, you've already tried a little dipsy-do. You've seen that come from the South team. But if you're the North, you really kept it a little vanilla so far.
Yeah, so the South came out, and they've stretching the field, throwing the ball vertical. And what you saw with the North do, they ran the ball, and they tried a little play action. And we'll see what they come back with. But they tried a little play action with the deep ball over the top with Jack Hayes.
Jack Hayes trying to get Torian Spears in the right location. They give it to Spears, and just like that, he is quickly wrapped up. Grayson Holly, young man out of Jackson, was the initial person there on the tackle. And he's coming off the field. Young man had 79 tackles during the regular season and 3 interceptions.
Garrison Holly, Jackson High School, 5'11", 240.
And for the quarterback, Jack Hayes, this is a little different for him. Normally, he's doing a marathon. He runs to the sideline, gets the play, runs to the line and makes the call. But now this is an adjustment period.
It is, and I think he might like this a little bit better.
2nd and 9. And a quick pass, good reception there. They're going to try to get something going. Terrence Robinson out of Buckhorn on the reception.
Return ready.
And he tried to sell the fake going the other way. Look at it, he just goes for a split second.
That's exactly right. And I tell you, this was a big play by the defense to recover here, because it looked like they had something early, but the defense, that's how much speed you have on the field. They recovered quickly.
3rd and 4 now for the North. Hayes can't find anybody. He's dangerous to run the football, but wow, this time he is met by Tay Gay, and Gay says he's not having it and makes a sack.
And he's, you know, if this game is going to go like this, and if he have to run tonight, you're going to see a lot of Tay Gay. And he's a kid that's, you know, he's very physical, like we've said, and you can't blitz, but if a back or a quarterback take off, you're going to see an add-on, and you'll see him do a lot of that tonight.
Simpson to punt. Nice high punt. Possible return for Chris Pearson. He's going to get a few yards out of that one. Brought down by Malachi Jones.
Malachi Jones out of Sparkman. 5'10", 210.
Caden Creel now on for the South. Going to see if they can try to get something started here. Defensive struggle here in the North-South All-Star game. Live from Mobile, Alabama. On the campus of the University of South Alabama. And for Creel, he'll be heading north to Jacksonville State in the fall.
That's exactly right. He's already committed, and he has had a really good year this year with Fairhope, and represented them well this year.
Trying to keep it on the ground, but goes nowhere fast. Will Kinnear right there to make the tackle for the North.
And that's Cole Blaylock, UMS right running back, 6 foot 188, the commit to South Alabama.
Everybody checking for their plays, and Creel trying to see if he can get this offense going. Young man who had well over 2,500 yards of total offense for Fairhope during the regular season. Going to hand it, keep it on the ground again, trying to go wide. This time they're able to make something out of nothing. Michael Johnson on the carry. Young man out of Enterprise.
I tell you, this is a great opportunity to see defensive linemen get off blocks and run to the ball, see who all get into the frame at the end of the play. And, you know, 2 plays ago, Will Kinnear out of Arab, you know, we talked about that. You know, we're seeing him a little bit more and more. He's holding his own against really, really good competition.
Braxton Ucart out of Hoover, one of those rangy defensive backs, 6'2", 180. Third and short now for the South All-Stars. Keeping it on the ground, keeping it is Creel. Great decision-making there by Caden Creel because the defense had blown up the handoff exchange.
As Will Kinnear again was in the backfield, making him read that and pulling it out. Great read, pulling it down and making something positive happen by getting vertical with the football.
New set of downs, first down. Creel being chased. Wow, good move there. He finds Cole Blaylock, and he's able to get into North Territory. And Amherst's first down. Good reception there by Blaylock.
The South Alabama commit. He actually is a play action, and he's the outlet. So whenever they have to come off of him, he's wide open. He makes a great catch on the ball. Great job of securing the football and moving the chains for the South.
From the 32, Creel getting some pressure on the backside. Now he's got plenty of time rolling out, and pass was picked off. Will they say it's an interception? Antonio Ross from Alexandria. But they're going to most likely have to take another look at it.
I tell you what, that was some great coverage from Antonio Ross. He stuck to the DB and made sure he closed in on it. Out of Alexandria High School, 6'2", 185.
I think that's a catch. That's an interception. Ooh, it's a little dicey there.
I don't know. Did they rule it an interception?
They have not made an official rule yet. Here we go.
Under review.
What was the call on the field?
So it was a hold, and they said they're challenging those. So they called it an interception.
Okay.
But the South is challenging it, saying that it may have hit the ground. Maybe right there. You can see the brown of the football. But his arms are underneath.
It's underneath. I don't know if that can be overturned on the.
Yeah, his arms are underneath it. He's cradling it underneath.
Yeah. Antonio Ross, Alexandria. Great effort, great play. And I tell you, for once right there, the South had started getting into a rhythm.
No doubt.
You know, Caden Creel has kind of got into his rhythm of a game and looked like he's that type of quarterback that will run around a little bit with the football, very athletic, and can make a play down the field.
It was ruled a no catch. The penalty does stand, which means that the South will still have the football. They'll lose some yards on the hole. Creel getting some pressure again. Can't find anybody. He's going deeper into his own territory, and now he smartly throws it away. There was a receiver in the neighborhood.
I tell you, with Creel in the game, the defensive back's going to have to do a really good job of covering, because it's going to be a lot of him doing some Johnny Manziel and running around with it. So the coverage is going to have to be continuous throughout the play.
They need to get to the 32 for a first down, or anywhere close to a first. Officials stop play. The officials right now just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page. Eric Speakman just saying, hey, give us one more shot. Keep this drive alive. Let's see what the official call will be.
That was not a motion. It's not foul on the offense for motion. The receiver lined on the wrong set. Second down.
Looks like it will be second down. Creel's going to keep it. Oh, and wow, at the last minute, he's going to try to throw it. That was an interesting RPO there. I mean, at the very last second, he tries to throw it to Jake Godfrey out of Spanish Fort.
Yeah, he has the option to give, to keep it, or to throw it. And, you know, the defense did a really good job of staying home, everybody playing their responsibilities. 3rd and 24.
That was something new. I've never seen him throw it that
late.
particular, yeah, that late on that particular angle. Creel getting some pressure, and now he's going to run it and trying to get close to the first down, and he does. An Amherst first down. He's keeping it on his feet inside the 20 down to about the 13, and Amherst first down. Great job by Caden Creel. This is why he had over 1,000 yards rushing for Fairhope.
That's exactly right. If he's not going to throw for it, let's take off and let's go run it. And he did a really good job breaking tackles and spinning to move the chains and keep it alive for his South squad.
WC Wright and Son red zone, and now Creel is quickly wrapped up a number of the defensive players right there to say hello to him. Brian Alston leading the way, the young man, Arkansas State commit out of Spain Park.
Brian Alston, 6'3", 260. Very athletic. Did a great job of wrapping him up before he can get going on that one.
Is he a kid that, depending on the defensive scheme, he could play a defensive end or he could play a middle linebacker?
Yeah, you look at his frame. He got a big frame. You know, he's one of those kids that has the size that they could make him in whatever he want to, and really athletic, too, to be playing on the inside.
Creel looking for the end zone, reception made. Wow, great play, touchdown for the South. Trey Kimmerlin with the first score, and Harvey's on Noble, touchdown. The young man out of Enterprises his way for a first score.
Great job of getting open, great throw, great catch, and made the play here and finished it with a touchdown.
Crane style. I didn't even know these kids knew about the Karate Kid.
Yeah, and see, Trey is another one of those kids that have offers, but he's going to be a late, and this is a high-end extra point.
Kick is up, and it's good. Trey Kimmerlin, the young man out of Enterprise. From the pass from Caden Creel, they find their way into the end zone. 7-0 South on top. Let's see what the North will do coming up.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
The internet. It's how we learn, experience, and connect to the world. But all of that powerful information needs a really powerful home. A data center. Like this world-class facility we invested $600 million to build, right here in Alabama. But keeping the world's information at your fingertips isn't all we do. Our data center supports thousands of jobs. We provide resources to our community and generate more than $1 billion for the state economy. We're doing our part for a better Alabama, because Alabama is our home too.
Crane style. Trey Kimmerlin with the first score, as the South have a 7-0 lead over the North in the Alabama North-South All-Star game from Mobile, Alabama. Kimmerlin gets credit for that first touchdown. And Caden Creel kept it alive with a 3rd and forever on the run back, but Kimmerlin, I think he may have impressed some folks with that reception.
Yeah, I think he did. The South struck first, and I tell you, it looked like they were about to get into a rhythm, and finally, after a big 3rd down play, off a 3rd and 24-27, and then they answer with the score.
Isaiah Fletcher is back deep, the young man out of Hartselle, and kicking will be Logan Wayhall out of Wetumpka for the South. Sarah Automotive kickoff. And Fletcher, it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Isaiah Fletcher with touchback.
So now we'll see what the North All-Stars will do to try to answer. They've been basically bottled up for the most part of this game. Another good kick by Wayhall. And now coming in, Giovanni Lopez, the South Alabama commit out of James Clemens. See if he can get him to fly high here in the 2nd quarter. Quick pitch and catch, and incomplete, intended for Jalen Jones, the young man out of Ramsey. And there's that young man again, Chris Pearson from Orange Beach.
Pearson did a great job of, they were trying to stop block him, and he did a great job of holding his own and making sure he secured the edge.
Second and 10 now for the North. They trail 7-0. Getting some pressure on the backside. They're trying to chase him down. And he tries a touch pass, but incomplete. Pass intended for Clyde Curry. He's an Arkansas State commit, but he was getting a lot of pressure from that defensive front. Dixon right there to really agitate him along with A.J. Prim. Third down now for the North. Troy Bruce Jr. in at the running back spot, the young man out of center point. They're trying to get the calls right. Timeout called by Michael Williams, the North head coach, and he didn't like what he saw, and he wants to take a time.
Yeah, the North is going to have to figure out exactly what it is that they're going to do. Are we going to put a package in where we can run the ball, or are we going to be able to sit back and try to pass the ball the way we're doing it? But something must get going quick.
Troy Cable, welcome to WOTM HD Channel 259. Troy Cable, your hometown communications company. We welcome the viewers who requested and received now WOTM. And I know a bunch of people down in Troy, Alabama are riding high because they are the 2022 Cure Bowl champions, one of two Alabama schools to win today in the first day of the bowl season. And we'll have highlights at halftime as Troy was able to walk away with the win.
Yes, sir. Go Trojans.
Oh, you know a little bit about that.
Exactly.
Huh?
Don't get me to singing the fight song.
Well, one of the other incredible stories in the state of Alabama, because it was just about 30 years ago, they were a small Division II school.
That's exactly right.
Winning a Division II national title, and now they've morphed into an FBS power.
Exactly.
Lopez running out of room and trying to come back to make the reception was Troy Bruce, but Bruce just couldn't make it.
Big third down play. Now it's 4th and 10. And the North still trying to search and find that combination where they can have some success to move the chains.
And you see Lopez over there trying to talk to Bruce. I think Bruce is like, hey, man, I don't want to slide on this turf. Simpson back to punt now for the North. And this one a little curvy. Pearson's going to take it, and he takes on the lick and gets out to midfield. They give him the forward progress. He basically just ran into the defenders.
I tell you what, it's very important to catch the football, because if that ball hit the ground, it'll roll another, and we call it first downs. If it goes to 10 yards, that's another first down we don't have to get. So if that ball hit the ground, you're losing yardage and you're losing first down. So it was big that he made that catch. Anytime that ball is in the air, we're encouraging the returner to catch the football.
Clyde Pittman now to quarterback the South team. We've already seen Caden Creel show some of his skills that he'll take over to Jacksonville State in the fall, using his legs and his arms to engineer the first score. Now it's Pittman's time. Oh, they're going to try a reverse. Donald Harris. Harris showing his speed.
There he
gets
is.
inside the 30 and close to an Amherst, and yes, an Amherst first down. Donald Harris, the volunteer out of Jeff Davis, making a big play on the reverse.
I tell you, this kid, if he could get the ball in space, he will make things happen. He's very electric, very shifty, and can move and can run. And you know, you saw it right there, but they'll do a good job of getting the ball to him. And if you get it to him in space, he'll definitely make some things happen. And we've seen a little trickery from the south side. They like to have a little fun and try to get something to spark them, to spark their offense to get something moving.
Misdirection has been their calling card for the South so far tonight. WC Wright and Son red zone, second consecutive time they've found themselves there. Quick pass, intercepted. The North gets an interception. Huge play there by Stephen Jones. The young man out of Gadsden City gets the first big defensive play of the night.
Great play by Jones right here. As you can see, they had the wheel coming out of the backfield with the back. And the wheel did a great job covering the wheel, and the corner did a really good job of jumping that ball, getting out in front and making a play on the football. That's a great job. Great job by Stephen Jones out of Gadsden City. 6 feet, 188 pounds. That's a great play.
I think they have some recruiters that are writing some things down after that one. And I know Pittman wants that pass back.
Now let's see if the North can get something moving. Coming out with the screen.
Over to Curry, and Curry able to get some positive yards. The Arkansas State commit, and he's also out of Gadsden City. You see the Trojan helmet there for Gadsden City. Second down and 6 now. Going to keep it on the ground. Torian Spears able to get close to the first down marker before he's brought down.
Spears out of Northridge, really good job of running the football right there. For the first time, you can see the North moving the chains.
First and 10 now, Amherst first down, and they're going to once again try to go wide. They get that Amherst first down, and that's Troy Bruce Jr., a young man out of Center Point. One thing you can say about Center Point, they were fast this past season.
Yes, they were, and you'll see that in this game too. If they can get him the ball, they'll you'll see that a lot, where you'll be able to see some speed on display.
Second down and 6 now. Jack Hayes still in at quarterback. Hayes going to keep it, and he's going to put his head down and get those positive yards. And as we said, he's the career leader statewide regardless of division classification. When you look at yardage and touchdowns, this young man leads the way in total touchdowns with 223 total touchdowns. I mean, that's just incredible.
Right, and you can look at his build, and that's his game between the tackles.
Keeping it on the ground, Troy Bruce Jr. gets into South Territory.
Troy Bruce Jr.
Wow, he is shifty too.
He's just trying to keep his pants on, that's all.
I tell you, he's a special one out of Center Point. They're gonna miss him.
And he's patiently trying to find the holes, and he's able to get forward. Michael Towner there to make the tackle. Hayes intercepted. Big play. And this was going to try to go all the way back. And a Harvey's on Noble touchdown. Nick Floyd with the interception return for the score. And just like that, the lead increases to 13 points for the South.
Nick Floyd out of Eufaula, and I tell you, he is tickled to death. The first person that'll greet him on the sideline is his coach, Coach Jarrell Jernigan, that's coaching on the sideline in this All-Star game.
Take another look. I mean, he just grabs it out the sky, 6'1", 170, and he has the speed to go along with the size into the end zone. Floyd for the interception return for the touchdown.
I mean, that's exceptional. He's been coached by one of the best, and he's obviously, you know, you're looking at pure talent. And now we have a high-end extra point. Kick is up and good.
Extra point is good.
Great job of
now leads 14.
the defense striking. Pick for 6.
Just like that, it's 14-0. Nick Floyd out of Eufaula there's that congratulatory. He's like, yeah, you did it. As his teammate out of you follow right there to say hello to him also, and Patrick Screws. Look at that throw again, and he's just right there. It looks like he just didn't see it.
Wow, I tell you, he did a great job of reading it, jumping it, and closing it. I'm telling you, it was picture perfect. That's how you practice it on defense. Nick Floyd, you follow high school.
2:44 here left in the opening half, and what we started off as a scoreless first quarter has turned into a South domination here in the second quarter. See if Jalen Jones and company can do something here on special teams. But so far, Logan Wayhall has kicked him deep, but now Jones is going to get it at his own 13. He dropped it just a tad, and now here comes the speed from Ramsey, and he steps out of bounds, but able to get a good return.
Wow, as you can see,
Jalen Jones.
He has some wheels, and we were about to see him get loose there for a second, but if he can just catch that ball clean and get a good start, I think that'll definitely help. But great return.
Jones, a key cog in that state championship Ramsey Rams program, and he just dropped it.
He did, you know, and the game started a lot like that as well, but did a great job finishing the run. Giovanni Lopez, James Clemens back at quarterback.
Throws a nice sharp pass over to Corbin Williams. Williams out of that championship program of Thompson, four consecutive state champions. Lopez eludes one defender, but this time he goes down. Benton Williams was the one there, and also there on the tackle, Coleman Gransberry out of Auburn. Yes. Good shifty move there, and then he knew, okay, I have no other place to go.
Brenton Williams did a great job out of Opelika, 6'3", 240. He did a great job of making him decide.
Lopez getting some pressure, and down goes Lopez now.
Brenton Williams.
Brenton Williams right there to make the sack. Wow.
6'3", 240 out of Opelika. I mean, the play before, he did a really good job. You could tell he's a very smart football player. And, I mean, he's a beast coming off the edge right there. He just outright won that battle one-on-one. And he's a force to be blocked.
He is an Auburn commitment. He'll be up there with Hugh Freeze and company coming up in the fall if everything goes according to plan as far as his commitment goes.
Exactly, and he looks like it. I mean, he was a beast coming off that edge right there. But the play before that, he did a really good job of playing the quarterback and making him decide. So, as you can see, Coach Speakman brought a couple of players in this game with him that they're really going to miss next year. These guys are going to be playing on Saturday, and we look forward to seeing them.
Timeout with 1:28 left. And for Michael Williams and company, they'll be what appears to be a punting situation. They're going to have some work to do at halftime to try to work their way out of this 14-point deficit.
Yeah, everything they've tried tonight with the North, it's been countered by the South. Either they've been outmatched up front, or the timing has been off in the passing game. So they got some questions to be answered at the half.
Simpson on to punt again for the North. Pearson's going to get it and just fall on top of it. He just couldn't get his eye on the ball in time. And instead of fumbling it, he just stays on the ball on the ground.
A minute and 20 seconds left to the half, and it'll be interesting to see what the South decide to do here.
They've had a defensive touchdown and an offensive touchdown. We'll see what this offensive front can do, led by Eric Patrick, 54, out of Auburn. Caden Creel back in at quarterback out of Fairhope. He's going to keep it. And quick throw. I mean, you got to always be ready. Stephon Blackshear on the reception.
Right, and the way they're executing this play is a lot like triple option. You know, you got dive, quarterback, and pitch.
And that was a great catch.
That was an awesome catch.
Not bad for Mr. Blackshear. 6'1", 190 out of Daphne. Second and 8. Blaylock on the carry. Blaylock trying to find some room. Doesn't cut back, and this time he's quickly wrapped up and brought down by Christian Douglas out of Leeds.
Great play right there by Christian Douglas and making that play. Shitting off the blocker and making a tackle on the play.
Less than a minute to play in the opening half. Creel got 3 wide receivers on the far side, but now he's going to stay near side, run it, and is forced out of bounds short of midfield. Braylon Jordan out of Pleasant Grove was right there to run him out of there. And Jordan, that part of that defensive squad that made it to 3 straight 5A finals. 4th and 1 now for the South with a 14-point lead. 15 seconds on the play clock. They're trying to draw them off sides as the clock ticks down to less than 5 seconds. And the defense holds. They don't let the claps throw them off.
Good discipline. Good discipline on defense right there. They was trying to get an easy one to see if they can keep moving the chain and then possibly drive down and get at least a field goal out of it. But look like they may be punting it away and then see if they can just hold on defense.
40 seconds left as Creel goes to the side. He'll be at Jacksonville State next year if everything stays the same. He's trying to talk it up with Michael Johnson out of Enterprise. Relationships made at these All-Star games can sometimes last for the rest of your life.
That's exactly right. Just in a week, you know, these guys will start a bond that'll that they'll stay in contact and they'll be either playing with one another on Saturday or at least playing against each other on Saturday and be able to keep that relationship. That'll last a lifetime.
And Logan Wayhall to do the punting for the South.
Cover! Cover!
Fair catch. Called for.
Fair catch made by Isaiah Fletcher.
Isaiah Fletcher, young man out of Hartselle. Hartselle had a very good season this past year. One of the up-and-coming programs around.
I tell you, Hartselle has a really great tradition. And you hear their names all the time in the playoffs, and that's a team that'll usually go deep in the playoffs. Really good football up in North Alabama out of Hartselle High School.
He's going to stay in at wide receiver. Now we'll see what Jack Hayes can do here in the last 33 seconds of the half. They're going to keep it on the ground. And good job there by Troy Bruce Jr. Oh, check that. Torian Spears on the carry out of Northridge, able to get some positive yards. Now, less than 20 seconds. This may be one of the last plays of the half. Give to Spears again. Enough for an Amherst first down.
Spears carry good for a first down. Michael Towner with the stop.
Let's see now what they can do. They think,
Yeah,
I think they're going to let the clock run out.
The half right here.
Clock runs out, and the South right now has had their way in the second quarter against the North. Stay tuned. We come back. We'll get you ready for halftime. But right now, it has been all South. Big plays offensively by the South and also defensively. But it's 14-0 in favor of the South All-Stars. Halftime coming up. Stay tuned.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer? Amanda brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Do you suffer with loose dentures? Does your denture slide around like it has a mind of its own? Are you embarrassed to smile because you're missing teeth? I have the solution that will free you from those uncomfortable feelings. Let me give you your self-confidence back and give you the ability to eat the foods you love to eat but can't. You'll be able to smile and laugh out loud again without the worries of your dentures falling out. Mini dental implants are your affordable solution, and I've been placing them with amazing results. Call Rick Redmond Family Dentistry today at 256-900-1621 for a free consultation and let us change your life forever.
Mini dental implants are 5 times less invasive, less pain, less healing time, less visits to the dentist, and the cost to you is less than half of the traditional implants. Call Dr. Rick Redmond today at 256-900-1621 for your free consultation and let him create that winning smile.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Amanda brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer? Amanda brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
South has a 14-0 lead over the North in the Alabama North-South All-Star Game presented by W.C. Wright & Son. James Verrett along with Dwan Walker. And Dwan, this is a situation where these young men are actually getting a taste of what it's going to be like playing in college in December because it is bowl season. So for some, this is just a tip of the iceberg of what they'll be doing next year.
Yeah, and that's the fun part of it. You know, these kids usually see this on TV. Now they are on TV. And so you're seeing nerves and a little bit of everything that come into play. But they need to get used to it because a lot of these student athletes will be playing on Saturday.
And thinking of playing today, state of Alabama was center stage as Troy and UAB was playing center stage as UAB looking to go 7-6, trying to play in the Lenders Bahamas Bowl, the hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl. And early on, it was Miami playing comeback kids as UAB had an early 10-point lead. Hipperhammer with the touchdown reception there. Dylan Hopkins on the ground. He finished with 16 of 24, 204 yards and a touchdown, but it would be the junior running back, Jermaine Brown, who would have a big day. He has one touchdown there to give UAB the lead. And you think, okay, UAB, you got to hold on, but Miami of Ohio would score another touchdown late in the fourth to regain the lead. Hipperhammer right there to make a play. This was a crucial play. The kick would be no good. It would stay 20-17 at that point. And here comes on 4th and 1, Jermaine Brown, 24 carries, 116 yards, but the Blazers defense would have to step up big. This would be similar to what happened between the St. Louis Rams and the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl in Atlanta. It's Raynard Ellis with a touchdown-saving tackle, and UAB wins the Bahamas Bowl 24-20. And what can you say about the Bill Clark era? It finally comes to an end, but it ends with a bowl victory.
I'll tell you what, that summed it all up, and really excited about what Coach Vincent did with that staff, the way they carried it over, and they were able to close this out. And, I mean, no need to hang your head or anything like that. They have done a great job with that program. The program was resurrected, and what a fairy tale ending.
No doubt about it.
Congratulations to the Blazers.
Even in the Bahamas, a fairy tale ending. Stay tuned. We come back, we'll take a look at the other Alabama school taking center stage, the Troy Trojans. 14-0 your score, South with the lead.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Manor brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Get more this fall in Sylacauga with the power of 3. Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan. The time to buy is now, with more value and selection.
Long before we became a new car dealer, we were a used car dealer, and we know used cars better than anyone. Sarah has hard-to-find inventory arriving daily from around the country, with over 1,200 pre-owned cars and trucks to choose from.
Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga, serving Alabama since 1981.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer? Manor brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
Halftime here at the Alabama North-South All-Star Game. It is the South that has a commanding 14-0 lead over the North in Mobile, Alabama, on the campus of the University of South Alabama. James Red along with Dwan Walker. Now, Dwan, you're a proud graduate of the Troy University, and this has been a football odyssey for this team over the past 30, 40 years. Started off as a Division II power. When you came in, they were transitioning into 1AA. Now they're in FBS, and they've actually made it to a Premier Bowl in the Cure Bowl. And how does it feel to see your alma mater make it on the grand stage?
Yeah, you know, that's where Troy belongs, and it's really great, feel great to get them back to that point, and they have done a really good job and has made all Trojans proud.
No doubt about it, and today they had their work cut out for them going up against UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. A lot of turnovers in this game. Both teams combined with 5 turnovers. Early on, it would be UTSA would get on the scoreboard after a safety, and then they would have a kick, and they would have a commanding lead there, 12-0, but here come the Trojans. They would score the final 18 points of the game, second and third effort, rushing it just to get on the scoreboard first to try to end the first half. They finally get in for the score, but they still trail. But as good Trojan knows, they never give up.
And they
score again to try to cut into the lead. And right there on the two-point conversion, they just stretch it out. And the kick is up, and it's good. But then the defense had to step up big. They throw it, and it just goes long. And the Troy Trojans, 12 games, first time in school history in the FBS era that they win 12 games. And I can't believe it's been 21 years since Troy has been in the FBS.
I tell you, you know, Troy is a place that has rich tradition with the championships that we've won in the past, and it just really used to playing at a high level. You know, we've been missing that over the last few years, but you know, we're a prominent force to be reckoned with, and we're really excited to be back on top.
Well, part of the Sun Belt Conference, and now it just looks like the Sun Belt is becoming a major player in college football.
That's exactly right. You know, all these conferences are expanding and jumping from one conference to the other. But the Sun Belt, as you know, they were foot to foot with a lot of Power 5 schools this year. And but they really stepped up. And as you can see, the competition in the Sun Belt is as good as any.
No doubt about it. Stay tuned. We come back. We'll get you ready for the second half. It's the South on top 14-0. The North-South All-Star game continues.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
I need the King boys.
Don't call 2 clowns in a tow truck when you're dreaming of them King boys.
Get more this fall in Sylacauga with the power of 3. Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan. The time to buy is now, with more value and selection.
Long before we became a new car dealer, we were a used car dealer, and we know used cars better than anyone. Sarah has hard-to-find inventory arriving daily from around the country, with over 1,200 pre-owned cars and trucks to choose from.
Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga, serving Alabama since 1981.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
14-0 is your score. The South with the lead over the North in the Alabama North-South All-Star Game. James Barrett along with Dwan Walker. And Dwan, you not only are a former football coach, but now you're the president and CEO of High Ed Software. Now, your software does a lot for not only high school kids, but also student athletes on the college level.
Correct.
But for high school kids specifically, they may want to go and venture into possibly getting a scholarship. How does your software help kids who already been told they need to go through the eligibility center in order to be looked at from a college?
Right. Actually, well, thank you. The High Ed platform, what it does, it automates NCAA eligibility. So no one enters data. What we do, we have a plug-in into the SIS system that will be used at the school, and it transitions that information onto the High Ed platform, and it automates eligibility. Now, NCAA eligibility is the same for males and females, all sports, for initial eligibility. So what it does is track students starting in the 9th grade to show them where they are as far as NCAA eligibility for Division I and Division II. And we do that in a roundabout way to where we color code everything. We keep it simple for the end user. If you're red, you're off track to qualify. If you're yellow, you're on track. If you're blue, you've pre-qualified. You've come to balance on the sliding scale, which is made up of your test score along with your GPA. And but if you're green, you're a full qualifier for Division I and Division II. So what it does, it allows students and parents to access the platform to know exactly where they are as far as NCAA eligibility. One of the worst days I've had as a coach, as a high school coach, was signing day. When a mother is sitting there getting ready to sign a scholarship and don't understand how my son or daughter probably broke the high school record, but is not eligible to play at the next level with NCAA. There's a big difference. And what this platform does, it allows them to understand it. It helps you from school to home understand exactly where your student athlete is as far as NCAA eligibility.
Tries to eliminate some of the guesswork out of it. Best way to describe it?
That's exactly right. It shows you, it gives you a clear picture because it's such a difference between high school eligibility and NCAA. Whenever you start talking about the 16 course, the 48H form just for your school, the 10-7 rule, all of those things play a big role in eligibility, and this automates everything for you.
And you can go to highedgms.com to look at that, but you also deal with workforce placement and also the military. How does the software help there?
Okay, what we do is it's not just software, it's also a process. So we love to talk about, software with a process. And so we transition students. Every student, even the football players you're seeing on this field tonight, will not be going to college. Some student athletes are going to go directly to the military or the workforce. Well, whatever that transition is, we make sure we help prepare that student and assist in making that a seamless process.
Wow, that is great. We'll take a break. We come back. We get you ready for the second half. But thank you so very much for High Ed Software and providing these young athletes with all the things that they need, and students also. Stay tuned. We get you ready for kickoff. 14-0 South with the lead.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Manor brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Get more this fall in Sylacauga with the power of 3. Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan. The time to buy is now, with more value and selection.
Long before we became a new car dealer, we were a used car dealer, and we know used cars better than anyone. Sarah has hard-to-find inventory arriving daily from around the country, with over 1,200 pre-owned cars and trucks to choose from.
Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Honda, and Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga, serving Alabama since 1981.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer? Amana brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
Players are starting to warm up on a cold Friday night, but the South has been the one who has been the hottest on the field. 14-0. James Red along with Dwan Walker. And what we saw in the first half was the South finding ways to raise havoc against the North.
Yeah, and they did that several different ways. You know, they did it on offense where they were able to move the ball and finally find it to the end zone. And then on defense, they were able to make some big plays and go back and have a pick six. So, you know, the North got started early. The South made a big play on defense right here with the fumble.
Tay Gay and Michael Towner with the fumble recovery, and then easy into the end zone, Trey Kimmerlin from Caden Krill for the score, 7-0. And then an interception by the North, and they'll see if they can capitalize off that. But they couldn't do it because this young man right here, Nick Floyd out of Eufaula, he will take it all the way to the house for the touchdown. And there you have it, 14-0 is your score. Second half coming up. Stay tuned.
The internet. It's how we learn, experience, and connect to the world. But all of that powerful information needs a really powerful home. A data center. Like this world-class facility we invested $600 million to build, right here in Alabama. But keeping the world's information at your fingertips isn't all we do. Our data center supports thousands of jobs. We provide resources to our community and generate more than $1 billion for the state economy. We're doing our part for a better Alabama because Alabama is our home too.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Sylacauga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Sylacauga.
Second quarter, it was all South as they scored 14 unanswered points, and we'll see if the North can answer here at the Alabama's North-South All-Star Game from Mobile, Alabama. James Ferret along with Dwan Walker. Now, Dwan, if you are the North and you went to the locker room, what are you telling these young athletes to try to come out and get a spark in the second half?
Yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board and keep it simple. You know, we're going to run the football, and that's basically what they're going to have to do, establish the run game. You haven't seen that a lot. They have a quarterback that's what he's really good at, in Jack. So he can run the football and get your play action game off of that. So I think that's going to be their thing, that they got to come back. And they had a little success late, but that's going to be the key to them. If they can run the football, they're playing pretty good defense. They just have to run the football.
Now, when you look at the South, they already have a 14-0 lead. If you're the coach of the South, what are you going to tell your athletes there?
Hey, let's keep making plays. Keep making plays. We want to. We have 14 points. Let's see if we can score another 14 in the second half. And if they can keep doing that and stay ahead, it's a lot easier to play football when you're ahead than it is when you're behind. So don't look at the scoreboard. Keep playing football and keep making plays.
Well, when you look at this game, the way that it's transpired, first quarter, it was sort of mano-a-mano. Nobody was able to get anything going, and then those trick plays and the defense really ignited everything.
Yeah, you know, in a game like this, the offense, it takes a little time, a little longer for the offense to catch up. And what you saw is the offense was able to come in and really get some things going on both sides and start gelling a little bit. But you saw these quarterbacks start coming into their own and start making some plays.
Sarah Automotive kickoff, Grayson Simpson on to kick for the North. Remember, the North received to open the game, and now the South will get the ball first here in the third quarter, trying to keep his feet and get on the sideline, skirts the sideline, staying alive, keeping it alive is Jake Godfrey out of Spanish Fort, making a good return for the South.
Jake Godfrey has some wheels.
No doubt about it.
He had a little burst right there to where if he get in open fields, the North can be in trouble, but really good return on that.
Clyde Pittman looking for his first touchdown pass or run of the game. So far, he's done a good job of trying to maintain offensively this South momentum. They're going to keep it on the ground. And good surge there by Braden Jenkins, the young man out of Theodore, and he has enough for an first down. And there was a huge surge there. He just took it to a second level.
That's exactly right. He's a really good runner. We talked about him first half and what he can do. And, I mean, he's at home down in South Alabama, and I'm sure he got a pretty good crowd right there of support, and they're looking for him to get loose this second half.
Close to midfield. They're going to give it to Jenkins again, once again trying to get to the outside. But he really couldn't get out of the arms of Aiden Hall, the young man out of Pleasant Grove. 6'3", 200 defensive end. Still hadn't made that final decision on where he's going to go to school, but whoever gets him, they're going to get a young man who knows how to win at a high level.
I tell you what, you look at that frame, 6'3", and very thick, but they're going to have a really awesome player right there. And you got a flag on the play here as well.
Got a flag. The ball came loose. A lot of pointing going on. Emmanuel Waller was there to make the tackle out of Oak Mountain. Let's see with the flag. The flag came at the very end of the play.
Got hold on the offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
That'll be a hold against the South. And that'll push him back in for Coach Williams. His team gets a reprieve. Let's see what the hold is. There, it looks like that's the hold right there on 65. And, oh, and they say it was a fumble. It looks like it's a fumble, but nobody calls it.
Yeah, he was still live. Yeah, he was still live. That was a fumble.
And Coach Williams is like, wait a minute now. We got this Jumbotron out here. And let's take another look at it. Jenkins running the football. And Michael Towner is right there. Oh, check that. That was Agent Zero.
Christian Douglas.
Christian Douglas able to rip it away.
And you got Emmanuel Waller out of Oak Mountain making the play on the bottom.
And now they're taking another look at it. And that's part of that technology. And looks like Coach Williams is going to try to use it to his advantage. When he was playing his games and playoff games, I don't know too many 1A schools that have a Jumbotron. So now with here at the University of South Alabama,
that's a luxury.
That's a luxury that he's putting to use.
Replay has confirmed. It's a loose ball recovered by the North at the 49-yard line. First down, North.
And he gets the ball back. Good job to look at the Jumbotron. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, great play right there by the North. They needed something to happen so they can get a spark. And we may have a game right here. They've come out second half and made a great play on defense.
So the turnover, as they say, flips the field, gives them the ball back in very good field position. Right at the 49-yard line, the North will take over, trailing 14-0. But already momentum going their way with the turnover. Going to keep it on the ground, and now here comes Troy Bruce Jr. Amherst's first down, and they just can't bring him down. Good job there by Bruce.
Troy Bruce Jr. at a center point. Find green grass and refuse to go down. Really good job, and they had to take a host of defensive guys to get him to the ground on that one. That was a great run. It was hard for the North to move the chains in the first half, but they come out first play and move the chains.
Torian Spears on the carry, gets to the line of scrimmage, may have gained one.
Carmelo Smith on the stop brings up second down.
Young man out of Northridge. They'll give him 2 yards on that carry, second down and 8. Lopez still in at quarterback for the North. Giovanni Lopez trying to find some room to run and gets inside the 30, goes out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Another Amherst first down for the North. Just like that, that momentum continues for the North squad.
Yeah, looked like they moved the chain, but it may be a flag down on this play.
Back. North team, 10-yard penalty, spotted 5, second down.
Got a block in the back on that play. Going to bring it back.
That'll push him back as the defense of the South trying to pitch a shutout. 3 wide receivers on the far side now for the North. Lopez got some time, but he's getting pressure on the backside, and down he goes. He holds on to the football, but once again, Benton Williams from Opelika. Opelika stepping up big.
I tell you, Brenton had a really good first half. I mean, he's really winning his one-on-one battles, and I'm telling you, this is the left tackle that's being left out on the island to block Brenton Williams, and you know he's really putting on a clinic tonight.
And there's a reason why Auburn offered him, because he's big and he's faster than what he looks.
He has a motor. He has a motor.
3rd and 20, and gets hit sideways. The intended receiver,
great play.
Isaiah Fletcher, and good defensive play
Christopher
there.
Bracey out of St. Paul's. Great job, the UAB commit.
Just trips him up ever so slightly, and these days you can't do that, you know, as we used to call it, the clock clean and hit, because then you're hitting a defenseless player.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. The game has evolved so to protect the players. And
Pearson on the return, and he's able to get it beyond the 20-yard line. And if If you're in search of looking for a good time off of I-20, Big Time Entertainment, 42 Town Road in Oxford, Alabama, you can go there and see indoor kart racing. Take part in the indoor kart racing course. Bowling, also an indoor video arcade, and of course the always popular Ninja Warrior course. Big Time Entertainment. You can join them Friday nights after games or anytime you're looking for good family fun. Big Time Entertainment, proud supporter of WOTM and high school athletics. Pitch and catch, and moving on this one is the South. Michael Johnson there on the reception.
Yeah, Brylan Jordan out of Pleasant Grove did a great job of getting over there and putting a big hit on.
Second down.
Looks like this one was a little bit of both, because one man falls down, the other man stands up, and boom. Now, he may have said, "I'll just hit you at the wrong angle."
And that's Michael Johnson out of Enterprise.
Enough for an first down. Good play there by Michael Johnson on the end around.
Tackle made by Braylon Chapman.
They say he's 1 yard short, bring up 3rd down and 1. Coming into the game, Cole Blaylock out of UMS Wright. He's in the backfield along with Creel. And good run again by Michael Johnson. And now that is an first down.
Michael Johnson, he's been used as a utility player tonight. He plays out wide, then he'll come back and put him in the backfield, 5'9", 170. Really good athlete that can do a number of things.
South doing a good job of bringing the momentum back. The defense gives it right back to the offense. And now the offense saying they're going to take some time off the clock, but also try to get closer to a scoring opportunity. Creel with the throw incomplete.
Wow, Trey Kimmerlin. He's out of Enterprise. He would like to have that pass back, because he had that great pass, great throw. He usually bring that out the air, but that was a great throw by the quarterback.
2nd down and 10 now for Caden Creel, the Jacksonville State commitment. Trying to build on his 14-0 lead. Going to try for a screen. They get it to Blaylock, and here comes Blaylock. Wide open, Cole Blaylock trying to find some room to run, and finally brought down by Aiden Hall, but not before he gets a huge first down.
I tell you what, this screen was set up nice. Creel was very patient. By the time he got it to Blaylock, got him in open field, and he does a great job of finishing the run downfield. Creel is now 9 for 21.
Trying to go wide is Creel, and he has a few yards on the carry. Bring up 5, he gained 5, it'll be 2nd and 5 now. They're trying to speed up the pace of this game, trying to stay with the no huddle. From the 29 on 2nd and 5. High snap, Creel gonna throw it out, finds a receiver in Donald Harris, and he has enough for the first down, the young man out of Jeff Davis. The faster pace seems as though it's working to the advantage of this squad.
It is. They're running a little tempo here and getting the ball out on the perimeter, and 2 athletes to see what they can get done.
Get it down to about the 22-yard line. 7 yards on the last play.
Wow.
Here comes Michael Johnson into the red zone. Touchdown. A Harvey's on Noble touchdown. Michael Johnson with his 2nd score. First score of the night. second score for people a young man out of Enterprise, Alabama, and all the folks out of Enterprise, yeah, they're shaking their pom-poms. They're loving it. They've expanded the lead to 20 points. It was his teammate, Trey Kimmerlin, with the first one, and now here comes Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson is a special player. He can play anywhere on the field. They're using him as an athlete, and the play caller right here is his head coach from Enterprise. So he know how to use him. He put him in the backfield as a utility player, and if you can get the ball in this kid's hand, as you can see, they're getting it to their athletes in space, and they are making the North pay right now.
He's just shedding tackles, and he's a small guy, only 5'9", about 170, but an arm tackle is not going to bring him down. And they're trying to see if he stepped out of bounds, but it looks like he got into the end zone. So
15 yards on the kick down.
That looks like a touchdown.
And it is a touchdown, and there also was a penalty against the North. Logan Wayhall on for the high ed extra point. And kick is up, and it is good. And with Michael Johnson's score, it is a 21-point lead in favor of the South. And arm tackles won't bring him down. He can play a little wide receiver and running back. The lead expands 21-0.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Amana brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue. You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Amana brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
Looking for great food and great ambiance outside of the hustle and bustle of Iron City? Look to Harvey's on Noble in Sylacauga, Alabama. They have an outstanding atmosphere, great steaks, seafood, and of course, outstanding desserts. And once you fill up on the food, you can walk around the extravagant downtown of Sylacauga. Harvey's on Noble, proud sponsor of high school athletics and proud supporter of WOTM. I personally can attest the food is outstanding. And it's the 64th meeting between North and South in the state of Alabama in the All-Star event. The South has a 32-30 lead. They've had 2 ties. The first game was in 1948, but there was a bit of a lull a couple of times, and now they finally, as they say, tweaked it enough to where everybody is happy. And now the South is looking to expand upon that lead as they have a 21-0 lead here in the third. Taking a look now at the young man out of Enterprise, Michael Johnson. He, along with his teammate, have scored 2 of the 3 touchdowns for the South.
And I tell you, we have Jalen Jones getting ready from Ramsey to return, and well,
and they're going to squib it. Sarah Automotive, and just like that, the South gets the ball. Great job by the South, and on the fumble recovery, Seawall McKee out of Trinity Presbyterian.
Coach Speakman has gone into the bag of tricks.
Wow. The ball is loose, and two players from the north had a chance at it, but they just didn't pounce on it. They were just reaching out for it. And just like that, Coach Speakman out of Opelika has really pulled out all the stops as his team gets the ball back and puts the north back in a defensive mindset.
Yeah, they're looking to put a nail in the coffin and put this game away.
Good reception there again by Michael Johnson, and Amherst first down. Johnson has proven that he is like a Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything.
He can. I mean, he's one of those utility guys that you can put him wherever it is, but wherever he is, the defense need to know where he is on the field. So he's not a surprise anymore.
5'9", 170. W.C. Wright and Son red zones where we find the South trying to build upon their 21-point lead. Clyde Pittman in at quarterback, gets the ball. He's going to throw it out to Braden Jenkins. Jenkins using that speed, keeps his feet into the end zone. Another Harvey's on Noble touchdown for Braden Jenkins, the young man out of Theodore. And now the lead is 27. The route is on for the South.
And you can hear the crowd. They're excited. He has, I mean, this is his home. And so, you know, he has done this week in and week out down in South Alabama, and you can see the young man. He was bottled up during the first half. They got him in space. Great block right there by Braylon, but good job of finishing the run. And Braden Jenkins, great job of finishing the run and scoring. That was a great block by Michael Johnson to spring him.
19 yards on the touchdown reception. And this young man out of Theodore, they went undefeated during the regular season, 13-1 overall on the entire year for the Bobcats out of Theodore.
Penalty on the play.
And it was a time where South Alabama really dominated high school football. But now it has gone to the central and a little bit to the north. But there was a time when you had Baker, you had Viger, you had Theodore. Right. Those schools were very dominant.
Right. Well, you know, all you have to do is go back and look at the NFL. There's so many kids out of the NFL on this high ed extra point. So many kids out of the NFL that is coming from that central region out of Mobile. When you look at it, at one time they had a study, and most of the city that put out the most NFL players was out of Mobile, out of that region.
Wow.
So that's amazing of what they have done there. But I tell you what, Logan Wayhall out of Wetumpka, he has really exercised the leg tonight. I mean,
he's handling all the kicking duties,
all the
place kicking and kicking off.
And the onside kick. That was a great job as well. So he has definitely showed up tonight as an all-star.
And you see the young man from Theodore, Braden Jenkins, had over 1,900 yards, 26 touchdowns. And now Logan Wayhall, he is, as they say, a busy man. If you need a kicker that can do it all, I think Logan is ready. And if you know your offense is going to score a lot, you may want to give him a call because he's ready to kick for you.
Logan Wayhall.
And back deep, Isaiah Fletcher from Hartselle trying to get an opportunity to run one back. So Sarah Automotive kickoff. And looks like he will have an opportunity, but that's Jones out of Ramsey. And he is quickly wrapped up and brought down before he gets to the 20-yard line. And that's Mr. Pearson out of Orange Beach, able to make the tackle. Chris Pearson has really been Johnny on the spot on defense and special teams.
He has. He's made plays all night. Did a really good job on this night, on this stage, and looking like he did. A lot of these guys was the cream of the crop on their team. And it's amazing when you see them on this field and they still rise to the top.
Right.
So you're seeing a really great evaluation of some really great players.
Jack Hayes in, and now here comes Mr. Bruce, and he keeps his feet, able to get a first down. Troy Bruce Jr. out of center point.
And I'm telling you, I truly believe if he can just keep his feet right here, and he have an opportunity just to run run the daylight, it's going to be pretty tough to catch him. He's a very elusive, and if he can get free, we'll be able to see what he can do. But they're going to continue to get him the ball, and hats off to the O-line right there that made some room for him.
Jack gets it out to a receiver, Jalen Jones, and Jones showing his speed. Second effort, able to get close. Seawall McKee there on the tackle.
And they're saying he was down before that ball came out.
Good job by Jones to make the reception. And second effort. And there's a look at Isaiah Rue for the North All-Stars from Muscle Shoals, 6'5", 270. That offensive front with Rue, Franklin, Fagan, Wood, and also John David Hall. Also got Mason Myers, Aiden Gibson. Got to remember, this is the elite of the elite. They're not coming in with 10 or 15.
That's exactly
they only got
right.
7 offensive linemen out there today. There's Aaron Wood right there out of Gadsden City. He's a Middle Tennessee commit, 6'6", 285. He doesn't have far to go to Middle Tennessee out of Gadsden.
And I tell you what, that's a big man.
No doubt about it.
6'6", 285.
Second and 2. And movement across the front. And you can see A.J. Franklin out of Hoover pointing, saying, we finally got you guys to move.
Aiden Gibson out of Aliceville, 6'3", 290.
I like that helmet. That's the two-tone. I like the two-tone look. First and 10 now right at midfield for the North. They trail 28-0, trying to make a comeback. No, interception. And there's that young man, Chris Pearson. He's going to try to take it to the house, and he will. 5, touchdown, Chris Pearson. A Harvey's on Noble touchdown. The young man out of Orange Beach with the longest interception touchdown return on the night.
6'1", 180. Chris Pearson just putting on a show tonight. I'll tell you, he was in the right place at the right time. And if there's one person you didn't want to have the ball in his hand, is that athlete in open field. Great reception, interception, taking it back. Great job this time by the defense of not causing a penalty and clipping somebody in the back. But great job of finishing the play. And the defense strikes again.
Great job by Chris Pearson. A high-end extra point now coming up. And they tried to block it, but they couldn't get there in time, and it's good. The route is on, and Chris Pearson can say, yes, I did score in the All-Star game out of Orange Beach, not that far from Mobile. He's stepping up big, trying to make that last pitch to recruiters. Here I am. This is what I can do. I mean, threw it straight to him.
Yeah, and he had an envoy in front of him. So, but great job of guys not overreacting and causing this to come back. Second touchdown for the defense.
No doubt about it. And Jack Hayes is a guy that's used to winning championships and not looking on the other side of a 35-0 deficit.
I tell you, he's definitely not used to being on this side of the game where his team is down by 35 points. But I tell you this, it's a reason why these kids are in this game, and they are the person that the player on their team that has always put their team on their shoulder and willed their ways back into a game, and you know, character. This is where character comes out. And I'll say this, as a college coach, you want to see how football players respond in adversity. And that's where your true character is going to come out. It doesn't come out on 1st and 10. It comes out in really difficult situations, and it comes out when you're down by 35 points. So body language is really huge during this time, during the evaluation.
Jalen Jones, he gets hit, bounces off of one defender, and goes out of bounds.
Jalen Jones with the return.
And they'll still have unfavorable field position, but much better than where he picked up the ball.
That's right. You know, when the North was running the football, good things was happening. It's when they started throwing the football, you know, it's pretty tough. But they had some success last series when they ran the football. The offensive line did a really good job of opening up some holes up front and getting bodies on bodies, and that's that young man's game, to run the ball between the tackles and move the chains. They did that last series, except that that one pass they threw that was an interception.
Jack Hayes now, his job is to try to get the North on the board as they trail 35-0. Flag on the play.
Hey, listen. If they do that, it got to go from stub to match.
And now delay a game against the North. Moves them back 5.
And be the guy back there.
And you see John David Hall right there. Young man out of Arab. Playing the center spot. 6'2", 260. They're going to try to keep it on the ground, and wow, goes nowhere fast. He goes into the end zone, but his forward progress stops him, but there is a flag on the play. Torian Spears not necessarily happy with that. And Jordan Bolden, the young man out of Theodore, 6 foot 280, like a tree stump. They were there to stop him.
I tell you, they have some meat across that defensive line right now.
No doubt. See, when you got, as they say, that second shirt, I don't know they got a jersey for him. Personal foul against the North, moves them back even further. I don't know if you want to go personal against Mr. Bolden.
No doubt, no doubt. Jordan Bolden, Theodore, defensive tackle, 6 foot 280. You also have number 83, A.J. Priam out of Foley.
And he throws the football. That's what happens. You don't want to do that, Mr. Spears. Now they're working out of their own end zone. They're going to try to keep it on the ground. And Bruce able to get a couple of yards, but not much.
Stop made by Sewell McKee.
And that frustration builds because all of these guys come from programs, for the most part, that are region champions or second place in the region. So this is, for some, the first time they've been in a deficit like this.
That's right, and you know, it's good. You know, it's good for them. It feels bad now, but it's really good to be in this situation because, you know, in every situation you can learn something. And this is a teachable moment. So for these guys to understand that, you know, character bleeds to the field and how you respond matters.
Coleman Granberry right there on the
brings up 4th down
tackle. And as you can see, that's big A.J. Franklin on that offensive front for the North, 6'3", 240.
Hoover Bucks.
Bucks under their new head coach, able to make a surge into the playoffs, make it to the 7A semifinals.
Exactly right. They're great tradition, and I tell you, that young man know how to win.
Pearson trying to see if he can make it 2 in a row on the return. Here comes Chris Pearson. He's got one man to beat. He dives into the end zone. They're going to call it another one. A Harvest on Noble touchdown. Chris Pearson out of Orange Beach. Incredible.
Chris Pearson, he has really lit up tonight. I'm sure they are tickled to death out of Orange Beach. Look at the fans. He's at home. You know, another South Alabama. I'm sure he have plenty of fans there, a lot of family, and this is his second touchdown.
I told you, lightning strikes twice, and he dives in. Yes, it is a touchdown. Incredible Chris Pearson, 35-yard punt return for a score.
And, you know, Orange Beach that program is not very old. That program is pretty new program with Coach Jamie Dubose now taking over as head coach and has done a really good job. He will turn out a lot of talent, and this is one of them that has really steered them this past year to a great season, and he's showing it tonight on this big stage. Chris Pearson, 6'1", 180 pounds, Orange Beach High School.
And the lead now explodes to 42-0. And defense, offense, special teams. Chris Pearson has scored on defense and on special teams tonight.
Yeah, you know, this game is a lot about bragging rights, right? You know, these kids, no matter what, they keep score on, you know, the North and the South. So there's a lot of pride that carries on in this game, and these coaches have really good relationships from the North to the South. And, you know, but this is something that they'll remember for a long time as far as these players.
Young man Chris Pearson definitely stepping up big tonight, making a statement not only for himself, but for Orange Beach High School.
Exactly.
Sarah Automotive kickoff. And the North just trying to find a way. Here comes Troy Bruce Jr. And he gets out of bounds, the young man out of center point. And we have come to the end of the third quarter, and just like that, we have seen the North have some semblance of fight in them, but it's been all South who have dominated this game, and they just exploded on the scene offensively, defensively, and special teams. 42-0, fourth quarter coming up.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Yeah, Manor brand air conditioners are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Manor brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
North-South All-Star game. You take a look at the stats through three quarters. 5 turnovers between the two teams, but look at the yard differential, Dwan.
I tell you, just looking at it, when you look at the totals, 112 to 223, but look at the time of possession. You know, the North has had it 21-23. I mean, the North has had their opportunities. The defense of South has just been smothering.
And looks like the defense is stepping up big again, batting that ball away. And Jack Hayes, and the thing is, this is more than just bragging rights between All-Star and All-Star. This is bragging rights between the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state. A lot of state championships north of Montgomery.
Exactly.
Not that many south of Montgomery, but I think these athletes are trying to send a message.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride in this game, and as you can see, you know, these players had to be selected.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the coaches take a lot of pride in who they selected to play in this game as well. So it looks like Speakman got a lot of it right. with his coaches and his players. And, you know, the North just really been struggling trying to put it all together. But you can see a combination of a lot of great teams, players that represent some great teams on here. But it's been really tough to put it all together and showcase this, especially all in 1 week.
Troy Bruce on the carry, gets beyond midfield down to about the 45-yard line. So when you talk about it, let's bring it down, as they say, another first down. When you look at state championships, the North and the central part of the state have won the majority of the state championships over the past few years. The South, not so much. Viger last year, but you haven't had as many. Do you think that chip carried over into tonight?
I think so. I think so. These players are playing with a lot of pride, and you know, they have players in the South, and they're, you know, you're going to see that. I mean, just look at the board right here. You have, like you said, the central part where you got Auburn over.
Over Thompson.
Exactly.
And you've got Piedmont losing to St. James, Leroy defeating Pickens County, Ramsey out of Birmingham defeating Charles Henderson, Andalusia, and I would consider Andalusia a Southern team.
Right.
Okay, and with the victory. But you didn't have as many Southern teams hoisting up the blue map this year.
That's exactly right, but you got a lot of Southern team players in this game.
Right, Sarah Land and Andalusia really carrying the Southern banner, defeating Mountain Brook and Cherokee County, and of course Fife from Top Sand Mountain defeating B.B. Comer. But it's definitely a Central North dominated group this year in the Super 7, and of course congratulations to Auburn's women's flag football team defeating Oxford. But does that send a message? Do even the coaches have a chip on their shoulders?
Yeah, I think so, without a doubt. You know, you definitely want to make sure that you're representing your region, and the South region, it's time for them to.
And they're going to. And it's another interception. This time it is Nick Floyd.
How do you follow?
His second interception of the night. He's already ran one back for a touchdown, and these defensive backs are definitely stepping up big.
Exactly. Floyd has definitely punched his ticket tonight. He's
he only needs 1 foot. He got that foot in.
He got the right in. Yeah, the right foot is in.
Yeah, he's in.
Great play, great play. He's definitely punched his ticket. He have a pick 6 and then a great play on the ball right here. But like, to your point, you know, these coaches and players want to win one down in the South. They have players to win it, and I think, you know, we have that to look forward to. And as you can see, like that Sirland team, you know, that's a lot of young players on one team.
Correct.
They have 3 super sophomores that.
And now they say that the North will retain possession as we are still running with a running clock. And it was a penalty for roughing the passer, which negates the interception.
Got you.
And that was Torian Spears on the carry as the clock continues to run. And for the North, they're just trying to get on the scoreboard. In the South, they're trying to pitch a shutout.
Yeah, the North plans for pride here just to make sure they keep that 0 off the board.
Spears spin move, stays on his feet, and he gets knocked down, but now he's in the W.C. Wright and Son red zone.
Towner with the stop. Play resulted in a first down.
And Spears is going to lead the field, and I think Spears is will pique the interest of a number of schools. From the 19. Bruce trying to go wide. Second effort, and Nick Floyd's right there to bring him down.
Junior with the carry on the left side.
And Colin Granberry out of Auburn also there to make the tackle. But Nick Floyd definitely, if no college has called him yet, I think they'll be calling after tonight.
Yeah, his phone may be ringing in his locker right now, but he's definitely going to you know, like we said, he has definitely punched his ticket, and he'll have opportunities. You know, a lot of these kids already have offers. You know, they're waiting to get the
offer
Power
they want.
5. Exactly. They're still in the.
And we'll take a break. We come back as the South is trying to figure out a way to pitch a shutout. North wants to score. Stay tuned.
You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Amana brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue. You think this is just a gray metal box, right? Let's get a little closer. Closer. Amana brand gas furnaces are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA. So this baby is true red, white, and blue.
WC Wright and Son Incorporated, they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and generators. Reach out to them, 205-252-2408. They've been serving the Birmingham area since 1946. And it's cold. You may need some help with your heater. When it gets hot, you may need some help with the AC. And of course, that generator will keep you going if the lights go out. And right now, the South is trying to turn out the lights on the North as they're 5 minutes away from pitching a shutout. Now we've got some guys that are talking.
Yeah, that's that pride we talked about. You know, these are competitors, and they all compete at a high level. And, you know, you have anytime you have a situation like this where it's 42-0, you're going to see some tempers flare.
Well, who knows? They may end up being roommates in college.
And that can happen, too. That can happen, too. That can absolutely happen.
And they'll just laugh about this. You remember when I got in your face? Yeah, I remember when you got in my face. So now 4 minutes and counting. Jack Hayes trying to find a receiver, going for the end zone, and incomplete. Closest person was Chris Pearson, the defender, but there was a flag on the play. And it was pass interference on Pearson, and the intended receiver, Terrence Robinson, out of Buckhorn. I think it's very easy. His helmet tells it all. That does look like a deer's antlers.
There you go.
And Buckhorn. That works for me. 6'1", 190, running back out of Buckhorn.
I tell you, the one thing I see that's the common denominator whenever we start talking about where the championships are, every team that won a championship, the community invested in that team.
No doubt.
I mean, facilities. When you go and look at facilities, they're on a different level than everybody else, and that set give those student athletes an opportunity to be successful.
Torian Spears on the carry, and he gets down to about the 5-yard line.
Torian Spears with the carry.
Clock continues to run with a little bit over 3 minutes remaining. And for Chris Pearson, his encore performance is one for the ages. As they say, he brought the house down with a special teams touchdown on a punt return and an interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's been special tonight. And
bullet pass, and that one is incomplete.
You almost need to know where he is, and that's batted the ball out of there.
And our big-time entertainment player of the game goes to Mr. 21, and he has been Johnny on the spot offensively and defensively, making tackles. Chris Pearson from Orange Beach, right there with the interception, takes it all the way in for the score. Nobody can catch him, and he's our big-time entertainment player of the game. And on the punt return, he's off to the races. Congratulations to him. And Jack Hayes just runs over the defender and gets upended. He said, well, he didn't hurt me. Tay Gay's like, no, he didn't hit him.
St. Paul's, like a UAB commit.
Right. So now a timeout has been called. As the clock continues to run.
Minute and 37 seconds left in the fourth.
They changed the clock operator. They went to the elder statesman, clock operator emeritus. And he's like, oh, we're going to stop it right here.
Exactly. and it's fourth down.
Beautiful night in Mobile, Alabama. And you see Coach Williams from Pickens County has the honor of being the North All-Star. I know he doesn't like the ending, but you take a look at this fantastic stadium. And I remember you told me that when you went to South Alabama, you guys, all you had was a notebook?
Notebook and cell phone.
And a cell phone. And now look at South Alabama. They'll be going to a bowl game.
Exactly.
And they'll be hosting a bowl game. And that's one thing these kids can watch on television and say, oh, yeah, I played in that stadium. I played on it with that logo right there.
Right. That's the field I played on. It's a great opportunity for all these student athletes. And great moments to create relationships that'll last for a lifetime. And this is a fourth down play here. A little
fourth
trickery.
Down, and with
on the board.
They finally, Harvey's on Noble touchdown. Malachi Jones from Sparkman gets into the end zone, and the shutout is over. The Harvey's on Noble touchdown with the halfback pass from Terrence Robinson.
Malachi Jones with the reception.
Yeah, Malachi Jones.
That touchdown right there feels like a victory. You know, they needed that bad just to seal the night for them.
Now for the point after attempt by Grayson Simpson. High Ed extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. And that should do it, because I don't think they can line up and have a kickoff in 10 seconds. Oh, they'll stop the clock.
They give a kickoff.
And that was a 4-yard touchdown pass from Terrence Robinson to Malachi Jones. 14 play, 58 yards. It took 11 minutes for them just to get to the end zone. That's saying a lot about that South defense.
That did. That said a whole lot about the South defense.
That concludes today's
but the North did make it, the shutout.
And they will let the clock run out, and that is your final. The South rises again and wins 42-7. And sportsmanship will be center stage. You see Chris Pearson, our big-time entertainment player of the game. He was outstanding tonight as the South, in a rout, defeats the North 42-7. It's a great, great event for the week, and congratulations to Coach Speakman from Opelika, the 2022 championship coach. Stay tuned.
Mr. President, Bessemer Superhighway is backed up. What are we going to do?
Are you serious? Get me the King Boys.
King Boys Towing is the fastest growing tow and recovery company in Birmingham and surrounding areas for one reason. Our customers are our top priority. Whether your car's been in an accident, it's stuck in the driveway and won't start, or you just need a tow to your preferred repair shop, give us a call. Our fleet of flatbed tow trucks will provide courteous and fast service. King Boys Towing, 205-428-3235.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Do you suffer with loose dentures? Does your denture slide around like it has a mind of its own? Are you embarrassed to smile because you're missing teeth? I have the solution that will free you from those uncomfortable feelings. Let me give you your self-confidence back and give you the ability to eat the food you love to eat but can't. You'll be able to smile and laugh out loud again without the worries of your dentures falling out. Mini dental implants are your affordable solution, and I've been placing them with amazing results. Call Rick Redmond Family Dentistry today at 256-900-1621 for a free consultation and let us change your life forever.
Mini dental implants are 5 times less invasive, less pain, less healing time, less visits to the dentist, and the cost to you is less than half of the traditional implants. Call Dr. Rick Redmond today at 256-900-1621 for your free consultation and let him create that winning smile.
And the South came in with not a lot of guys being highly touted as the best of the best, but they were very good, and they were the best tonight, 42-7. And you see Chris Pearson from Orange Beach with 2 touchdowns, 1 on defense and 1 on special teams, as the South routs the North 42-7 as they get ready for the trophy presentation. And
the MVP awards will be presented by Brandon Dean,
University of South Alabama,
Athletic Director
in Mobile, Alabama. And Dwan, this has been a fantastic display of the talent that you have in the South. Not a lot of blue maps this year, but they have a lot of
for the North
blue
squad.
Bloods. And let's listen to the PA announcer.
Bruce Jr. And your MVP for the South squad, Chris Pearson.
And Chris Pearson gets the MVP trophy along with Troy Bruce Jr. from Center Point. Troy Bruce, the MVP for the North, and Chris Pearson, the MVP for the South, with a touchdown on defense and special teams, along with a number of tackles. And this was a fantastic game if you're a fan of the South. And for the North, they did show some pride and scored in the end.
They did. The North had their work cut out from them from the opening kickoff, and the South, they were superior tonight, and they had players that can make plays on offense, defense, and then the special teams. So they put on a really big show tonight, and it shows on the scoreboard. They were unable to get the shutout, but it came all the way down to that last play to stop the shutout.
And normally when you see teams that start off with some trick plays, some misdirection, it's showing that they may not necessarily have all the talent, but they not only had the trick plays, they also had the talent to go along with it.
That's exactly right. They did a really great job of creativity to start the game. You know, they came out with play one, and I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Blackman, and he told me, hey, keep your eyes open for the first play. We're going to do something special. And he did. They did something special. They missed it on that first play, but they kept at it, and they kept throwing the ball vertically down the field and made some things happen. But they got the ball to their playmakers in space, and offense, defense, and kicking, they performed really well. Even the special teams, they had a big night.
No doubt about it. And Eric Speakman, the head coach for Opelika, joins us now. Coach Speakman, first of all, congratulations. And what did you tell your team in the locker room before the game to really ignite them the way that they played from the second quarter on?
We just went in there with a message to come out and relax and play. You know, these are great players. North had some great players, but just play for the reason that we picked those kids to come down here and represent their communities. And the kids they bought in. And our coaching staff did a tremendous job this week of getting these kids ready in 5 practices.
Talk about the performance of Chris Pearson. This young man, I think, was he a late addition, and he really stepped up big tonight?
No, he was actually not a late addition. He was one of the first kids we picked for obvious reasons. We were very lucky he didn't get picked for the game last week, and I think he's going to have a lot of guys calling him, trying to get him on some visits after that performance.
Coach, let me ask you this. What was the through this week? We know you only had approximately a week to get ready. What was the challenge in this week of bringing all of it together?
Well, the biggest thing is getting these kids to play together, and that was our first message on Tuesday in our first team meeting. Is you got all these kids that are basically the best team on their best player on their team, and they got to come in and buy in that they're playing for something bigger than themselves, and that's for these coaches that put in a lot of work outside of their own jobs, and then we got to practice in on Tuesday and Wednesday morning. We're canceled Wednesday afternoon, but we still met in the hotel and walked through. Put in, did a full install and everything. So just a lot of good, hard work by these kids.
Coach, we thank you so very much. Congratulations to you, and I know this is something you'll never forget.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Thank you so very much. And Opelika represented, Orange Beach represented, and Chris Pearson. And the defense was had by all in the first quarter, and then from the second quarter on, it was a South rout as they were able to win 42-7, and that will end the 2022 football season for the state of Alabama, and it's been great. The South 42-7 victories. Thank you and happy holidays.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
I don't think so. I think the Auburn people would be upset with us. Somebody might go to try to take that eagle. I got to see it fly. See the eagle fly 8 times last week. And if you haven't seen it, I don't care if you're an Auburn fan or not. It is something.